From Virginia, under the lights, man. 3/4-mile racetrack sitting up there. I'm talking about a fast racetrack because you beat and bang, and you got to be willing to hang on to that bad boy all night long.
Went down to the mountain, I was drinking some wine. Looked up in the heaven, Lord, I saw a mighty sign written fly across the heaven, plain in black and white. And prepared, it's gonna be a party tonight. Hey, Saturday night. Yeah, one more Saturday night. Never chicken rice, everybody getting packed. The rocket struck at midnight, place is gonna fly high. Hey, Saturday night.
Can't wait to get back to Richmond.
Yeah, one more Saturday night. Hey, Saturday night.
I love racing under the lights.
America's best drivers 1/3 of the way through the chase for NASCAR's championship. Tonight, a sold-out crowd at Richmond International Raceway. More than 100,000 to watch from the edge of their seats. FX bringing you closer to the action. When you put Dale Earnhardt Jr., Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon, and a star cast on a short track on a Saturday night, chaos, competition, and confrontation take center stage. We're trackside in the Hollywood Hotel. It's where America gathers every weekend for racing. Welcome to NASCAR on FX, a beautiful spring evening here in Virginia. Darrell Waltrip, Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers. Nice to have you with us. And you'll notice we have some Emmys around on Monday night.
Jeff.
The award for television excellence handed out our technical crew, audio crew, and live sports series. So we thank the people of NASCAR and you for watching, and everybody behind the scenes as well.
And you know what, Jeff, Larry, and I always talk about, this deal is just like being on a great race team. And this is a team effort. This isn't any one monkey. You know, one monkey doesn't stop this show, believe it or not.
Yeah,
and this is a real team effort, and congratulations to all the people behind the scenes that never get on camera.
We have to have that back by midnight, by the way.
That's exactly right.
Real men work in the pits. Hey, let's talk about the transition from Talladega, the largest track, to here, a short track where we'll likely see short tempers.
Oh, you're definitely going to see some short tempers tonight. We've been talking all week long. There's the possibility of some of these guys who got something saved back, thinking a little bit of payback at Richmond may come into play here tonight. Aggressive racing, 3 wide. Hey, DW, it's a short track who thinks it's a super speedway.
Well, the drivers love this place, and the reason is 43 cars fits on this racetrack. You can get strung out. There's racing room. You can go high. You can go low. You can go 3 wide down to the turn. Just don't go to 3 wide in the turn, and you'll be okay.
Greg Biffle on the pole, Mark Martin alongside. And although he has never won here at Richmond, one of the favorites at tonight's race, points leader Jimmy Johnson. And as we subtly mentioned last Monday night, Fox Sports winning 3 Emmys for our NASCAR coverage. We were just trying to keep up with Jimmy because earlier that day at Talladega, he won his 3rd race of the season.
There goes the 48. He is a coming guy.
Jimmy Johnson is headed to victory lane.
Jimmy Johnson burns down the house.
The driver of the 48 Lowe's Chevrolet joining us from down on the track. Jimmy, thanks for being with us. And I want to go back to Daytona 500. You started out winning the race and dedicated it to all the 48 haters out there. Now, with your continued success, are there more or
you forgot about that?
We have it on tape. Are there more or less of them now? Is what we're wondering.
There's definitely less of.
Right.
I think my XM radio show on the radio that I have has done a lot to help the haters understand me a little bit better. And you know, that was a tough week for us. I made a comment there. It felt good to say it at the time. There's some things I dealt with after that, but things have been good. The Lowe's team's had a lot of support from the race fans, a lot of support from all of Hendrick Motorsports. So we've been doing well. Won another plate race and feel good about it all.
Well, Jimmy, you know, your 3rd win of the season at Talladega, but your 1st win for your crew chief for this season, Chad Knaus. Did that 4-race suspension affect him as far as his crew chiefing? I mean, has he changed somewhat?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think there's been a lot of changes for the better, not only with Chad and the way he approaches the race weekend and what takes place, you know, in his world, but the way that the team operates and works as well. We've all had to take on a lot more responsibility, grow up. I've grown up a lot in my role as a driver, and we're a stronger race team because we went through that experience on a lot of levels. So I'm very proud of the way the team's handled things, and we're doing well right now.
Hey, Jimmy, it's DW. Listen.
The monkey.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm glad to know you were listening. And one monkey doesn't stop the show, by the way. And Chris Myers asked that hater question. No, I was just curious. You seem to be a much wiser driver this year. And, you know, so far, 2 years here for the chase, haven't won the championship yet. What do you guys got to do to keep that momentum all the way to the end of the year, not fizzle out in those last 10 races?
I think in some ways we just can't beat ourselves. We can't get too caught up in each individual race and what's taking place at the time. We just got to keep working on our race cars. You know, if we're having a good stretch, still keep trying to advance the cars and not be content, and don't panic if we kind of lose some momentum. So all in all, we're a smarter team. I'm driving with the right mentality. The team is holding their own on pit road. Everybody's just a lot wiser, including myself. So hopefully we can take all that knowledge and experience we've had over the last 4 seasons, roll that into 10 good ones at the end of the year, and be a champion.
All right, hey Jimmy, before we let you go, I know you're a spokesman for the All-American Soapbox Derby. You're up in D.C. You had a busy week. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I had a great week. First, I went and shot a live show at XM Studios. Then from there, I went to a car dealership there in the D.C. area. Worked with some inner city kids. Levi Strauss Signature donated all the cars necessary and all the equipment necessary to compete in the Soapbox Derby event. Some other people came out that compete and helped us put the cars together and worked with the kids. And really was a good time to give back and put a smile on some less fortunate inner city kids' faces.
All right, well, keep up the good work. All right, good luck. Thanks for being with us.
Good luck, buddy.
Yeah,
have a good night.
Appreciate it.
Jimmy getting ready to go racing as driver introductions continue. Here's what's around the turn. The reigning Richmond champ has 2 wins under his belt, but today, Casey Kane straps in with DW for our drive and ride. How about that?
It's cool.
Elliott Sadler, home sweet home in Virginia, but will the pressure gauge at 10 laps melt the M&M driver? And gas and go will be hotter than the brake pads with Jeff and Darrell. We got short track, bright lights, and dim wits. Here
I heard coming from you.
Monkeys, dim wit.
FX welcomes you back in Richmond. Fans of all ages, ecstatic.
Oh, man, look at now. Is that cool?
That is cool right there.
Oh,
Of their
wow.
favorite driver. He left
He will never forget that. Look at that.
He left his pen. We used it for our news and notes. Time for this Fox Flash
That's all.
from NASCAR.
sweet, man.
Denny Hamlin, who cut his left hand running laps around his car hauler this week, will race with 19 stitches tonight. He starts 7th. He'll have to race in pain. 49-year-old past champ Dale Jarrett going to leave Robert Yates for Toyota next year. At least that's the unofficial word. DJ has not denied it, but look for the official word in the next 10 days. Brian France, NASCAR's chairman and CEO, made Time Magazine's list of the top 100 most influential people, and our own Darrell Waltrip wrote the article about Brian. And Jamie McMurray and this race's sponsor, Crown Royal, announcing the official name of next spring's Richmond race will be awarded to an adult fan in Your Name Here 400 contest. An essay is required to enter, so Hammond, that eliminates you. The winner is chosen at random from 10 finalists. I kid because I care.
Me?
All right, come on, that sets up.
You know what an essay is?
Guess and go. Gas and go. I've got
That's
questions.
right. You're guessing. We know.
You've got answers. All right, who's, Darrell, for you, 20 seconds. Who's the best short track racer out there right now?
Tony Stewart.
Really, without question?
No question
What
about that.
Jeff Gordon? Isn't he the old-time leader in terms
Tony
of...
Stewart, hands down. I'd take smoke anytime.
How about you, Jeff?
I have a hard time arguing with him right now. I think Tony's pretty tough when it comes to short tracks.
All right, Kurt Busch could contend, but 15 career short track wins for Jeff Gordon. All right, Jeff, for you, is the Roush crew experiment with crew chiefs being changed, is that working?
I believe it is. I believe you've watched here recently that the success that Carl Edwards has continued to have. All of a sudden, he's got a couple top 10 finishes. The change to Wally Brown has not hurt him, and I believe Jamie McMurray's last week's run at Talladega was definitely improved for him.
All right, I know Darrell was skeptical, but we still have time on that one. All right, Darrell, which Hendrick driver do you like more for the championship, right, Jimmy or Jeff Gordon?
Well, I mean, I think the 2 years that where they didn't win the championship,
Right.
made the chase, didn't win it. I believe they've learned a lot from that. I talked to Chad Canals. He said, DW, we're going to save a little something for those final 10 races this year. I put my money on Jimmy, always.
Yeah, great regular season, but he wants that championship, doesn't want to be like the Indianapolis Colts. All right, Jeff, 15 seconds. What's the problem with the 12 team here? Is it Ryan? Is it the crew? Is it the car?
I think everything's kind of caught up with them.
Check.
Number one,
Check.
yes, the whole deal. They got a little bit distracted working with the Intrepid, not being focused with the Charger like he needed to. They've got a new teammate this year. They're going through some transitional periods as far as that's concerned. I think this whole camp is a little bit still in disarray, and once they get it kind of figured out, he will be back.
I'm not so sure they don't miss our old buddy Rusty.
Okay,
You
fair
know, the
enough.
Good point.
senior leader
Good point.
keeping them on course, and that could be part of the problem, I think.
They've fallen from 12th to 26th in points in the last 4 races. All right, Jeff, in 10 seconds here, did you ever think you'd see the day when Darrell Waltrip was writing for Time Magazine? Is that an upset or what?
I don't know if you did or not, but I sure didn't.
Hey, one time he couldn't even spell Time Magazine. What are you talking about?
Man, I got the time right here.
I told you that. Yeah.
Hey, by the way, what Kentucky Derby horse did you say reminds you of me?
Oh, yeah. What was his name? Oh, flashy bull.
All right, thank you very much. Very nice.
No,
All right,
Sinister Minister.
No, he's a flashy bull.
You guys are real nice. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Elliott Sadler getting introduced to the crowd. Dale Jarrett might be headed to Toyota, but yesterday Kevin Harvick said, hey, I'm staying, to Richard Childress. Kevin signed a contract extension through 2009 with RCR Racing. Harvick dominating the Busch Series with a 313-point lead. He's won 3 Busch Series races this season, including last night here in Richmond.
Boy, hot.
It's some bad to the bone racing right here, boys. I mean, they're running like there's no tomorrow.
Kevin Harvick wins the Circuit City 250.
All right, Trackside Burns is with Happy Harvick.
All right, thank you, Chris. Kevin Harvick just being introduced, and he talked about the contract extension. Hop on up there. We'll follow you. We're going to do a parade wave. Kevin, we talked about the contract extension. You've already won 1 race this morning, early this morning, the Busch race, 3 of the last 4. You guys are in the top 10 in points in the Nextel Cup Series. I'll ask you the same question. Have you ever been this hot before?
I started thinking about that last night, and it's been since I raced late models, but it's never been like this here. So just enjoying everything. Our U.S. Coast Guard Chevrolet and our GM Goodrich Chevrolets have been good all weekend, and hopefully we can keep it going.
Kevin, how much of a relief is it to you? How much can you now think about the future now that the contract extension is done?
Well, I mean, the main thing is just everybody can really focus on what we're doing and concentrate on a task at hand. So not that we haven't been, it's just, everybody knows what everybody's doing. So it's really good.
How about a parade wave?
All right.
Back to Chris.
All right, thank you very much.
After midnight, they let it all hang out last night.
Yeah, he stayed up late with the rain. Has a chance to sweep the weekend here in Richmond. Only Harry Gant has done that. How about it, Darrell? Was it loyalty over money that did it for Kevin Harvick with Richard Childress?
Well, I think that Kevin has got his deal going with his own company, But I also think that he's a lot like Dale Earnhardt was. Dale drove for Richard and built an empire. And I think that's what Kevin, I think that's his model.
And I know you said earlier in the year that Kevin Harvick, in terms of where we thought he'd be, hadn't quite measured up. He's hot now. Is this put him in the best chance for a championship?
I think it finally puts him exactly where he wants to be. I talked to Richard Childress briefly before we come on the air, and Richard says the same thing. He feels like right now his company's on pace to get back to win a championship, and on top of that, they've got more coming yet, guys. They believe in the next couple months you're going to see stronger engines yet and better race cars from this operation.
Yeah, a year ago,
look out.
A year ago, you'd have said, go ahead and do it, because that team's going nowhere. This year, you'd be a fool to walk away from it now. They got it on the right track.
Timing is everything. Richard Childress said that Jeff Burton, too, has been a positive influence.
Good leader.
Harvick is 7th in points as you check the Nextel Cup standings. Jimmy Johnson is your leader. Kenseth, who's second now, was 23rd at this point last year. Dale Jarrett moving into the top 10 as Casey Mears falls out to 11th. Biffle, Newman, Mayfield, those are guys who are all in trouble. You'll see some desperate racing tonight. Joe Gibbs, his Redskins play about 120 miles from
when
here.
The players get hurt, the coach knows that.
That's right. He said, play hurt. We're counting it down to the start of this 300-mile, 400-lap race.
Hey, this is Jeff Burton of the Singular 31 Chevy. Stay tuned for details on how to play the Singular Virtual Crew Chief during today's race. Watch for your chance to win my payday at the race in Daytona Beach on July 1st.